here are the facts. When Bill first assigned Hillary to lead his task force on national healthcare reform in 1993, she immediately put 33 corporate power players on her team. Now, these were some real heavy hitters across several industries that she knew had the muscle to get things done in D.C. and weren't afraid to get their hands dirty in the process. It was a real deal with the devil, to be sure, but this group stood to make a killing, because with the approval of the new healthcare bill, they were promised a payout to the tune of $10 billion in new revenues. Yep, that's billion with a B. Thankfully, the bill was destroyed before it ever got off the ground, and Hillary's teammates never got to cash their checks. But failure has never stopped Hillary. She's had plenty of it. But her lust for power is never ending. She knew that in our country, money can still buy power, but you need lots of it. So she decided to form a secret alliance with this group of corporate fat cats. And with nothing more than a secret meeting and a brief handshake to seal their pact, the Clinton cartel was born. They vowed never to speak of their arrangement again. But I was watching. And what you're about to hear next is a matter of public record, the undeniable proof of the cartel's work. Fast forward to Hillary's 2000 Senate bid. The cartel funneled $86,875 in cash into her campaign, ensuring her victory. During her re-election in 2006, they upped the ante and pumped $157,015 into her campaign. And again, she won. Then came the 2008 presidential election, when the cartel gave her $174,000 in cash. The cartel didn't even care if Hillary lost in the primaries. They had their sights set on 2016 the entire time. Fast forward to 2015, when Hillary announced that she was running for president. And now, the cartel went all in, to the tune of $7,054,871. But they didn't stop there either. Trying not to draw much attention to their partnership, they privately made additional contributions to the Clinton Foundation, ranging from $1 million to $5 million each. In total, it's estimated that Hillary has accepted over $10.8 million in cartel dirty money since 2000, and that's only including what's publicly shown on her books. Now, with that kind of money buying all the votes she needed, the scheme was practically foolproof, until her carefully laid plan was outed in the final hours before the election. Hillary rightfully lost, and the cartel was once again left with their pockets turned inside out. But that just made them even angrier. So, who exactly is this faceless cartel, and why should we still be afraid of them, even after Donald Trump becomes president? And most importantly, how can you protect yourself and your loved ones? From my experience, I've found Clinton's cartel to be an extremely cunning and dangerous team. They work in secret and consist of highly influential figures, lobbyists, and even corporate executives. Now, that might not sound intimidating at first blush, but in partnership with Hillary, they've already launched Executive Plan 5 with one simple goal: manipulate American politics and the American people for billions in pharmaceutical drug profits. And no one would ever catch on. What's even more terrifying is that this group is not made of politicians. Look, Trump has promised to drain the swamp in D.C., but these folks are too powerful to be touched. So even without Hillary on their side, they can still have unprecedented power to influence our government's healthcare laws and policies. Take, for example, the FDA. The cartel has been funding that group for years. They practically own it already. How? Well, in just 2015 alone, the FDA received $97,605,000 in standard fees from the cartel, all to allow more prescription drugs to flood the market, making billions for the cartel. And it's only going to increase a lot. In fact, it should rocket to well over $100 million a year in money paid to the FDA, allowing the cartel to continue to push their poison pills for billions in profit. And the worst part is, they're selling us prescription drugs that are completely unnecessary, and many of them are deadly. Did you know the FDA receives more than 2 million consumer complaints about prescription drugs every single year? And it gets worse. It's estimated that over 350 Americans are dropping dead every single day from taking their own prescribed medications. That means in the short time you've watched this presentation, 2 more Americans have died from the cartel's work. And seniors are at the most risk. But maybe you're sitting here and saying, that'll never be me. Then let me ask you, Are you over the age of 55 and taking a prescription drug? Does your spouse take any medications? More than 31,000 seniors will die this year from legally prescribed medications. But what can you do? Your well-meaning doctor prescribes them for high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, whatever it is, and you need them, right? Well, that's what the Clinton cartel wants you to believe. But today, we're exposing their most dangerous lie. You see, the organization I work for is called the Health Sciences Institute, or HSI. We're an independent think tank of patriotic American doctors, scientists, and researchers. And we are fighting back against Hillary and her slimy cartel by exposing their biggest lie ever, starting with 5 words they never wanted you to hear. You don't need prescription drugs. Not when there are already very real cures and treatments for the diseases that plague us. Alzheimer's disease, arthritis, MS, heart disease, even cancer. Cures they've actively covered up for the last 23 years. And today, we're exposing everything and revealing every disease-curing secret so they lose and you win. Like a cancer cure that beats chemotherapy and starts killing cancer cells in just hours, covered up by our own government. You won't believe this outrageous scandal. The easy secret to reversing Alzheimer's and dementia with the power to roll your brain's clock back 12 years. How did this one get buried? The truth comes out today. The only solution that erases arthritis pain and rebuilds arthritic joints. Pain vanishes in as little as 7 days. Are you ready for a brand new outlook on life and zero pain? Want deep, restful, healing sleep night after night without the danger of deadly sleeping pills? You'll be amazed by this new sleep wonder and just how dangerous the pharma stuff secretly is. There's a deadly symptom of heart failure that your doctor doesn't know. This is must-read information to save you from a fatal heart attack. Plus, there's a simple solution for protecting your heart now, if you know where to look. You see, there are true cures from all over the world that work as well as, or better than prescriptions, but with no lousy side effects. In fact, in many countries around the world, these therapies are prescribed by doctors. And reports are flowing in that they're curing grateful patients from cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and more. But why not here, in the greatest country in the world? Well, it interferes with the cartel's money machine. You see, these are all natural disease treatments, discovered by top scientists right here on God's green earth. But you can't patent a plant extract or an herbal disease treatment. And if you can't patent something, you can't sell it for big profits. So why would the cartel even waste their time? It makes way more sense for them to try to replicate the cure with something artificial that will become their next cash cow. So the cartel bullies the FDA into making sure these natural cures stay a secret, while also making sure you and your doctor only hear about their wonder drugs and keeping those deadly side effects sealed away from the public eye. And that keeps Americans coming back to deadly and ineffective pharma drugs over and over. But finally, that ends today. For the first time ever, I'm unmasking and counting down the top 5 covered-up cures that Hillary's cartel and their partners at the FDA have openly tried to discredit. I'll show you proof of what these cures can do for you and your family. And yes, I do mean cures for the deadliest diseases known to mankind. You'll also hear from hopeless people who've had their lives changed forever. You'll see the results from rock-solid scientific studies, and most importantly, I'll show you how you can legally get your hands on all of them free. That's correct. We've arranged to send you everything you need to know about these 5 astonishing disease cures at no cost to you. We want to make sure you don't fall victim to any of the cartel's lies. So we've printed up every single cure in a free report we call the Insider's Book of Secrets, the real cures buried by Clinton's cartel. And we're ready to mail it to your door today. We feel it's our duty as Americans and patriots, and it's the only way to stop the Clinton cartel from carrying out the final phase of its deadly scheme. But a fair warning, the information I'm about to share is so explosive, and Hillary's cartel is so powerful, they can wipe all traces of this video from the internet at any moment. So this could be your only opportunity to watch this video uncensored and in full. I'll give you full details in a moment on how you can claim your free report. But let me tell you exactly what you're getting. We're jumping right in with number 5, and it's an absolute shocker. For the first time ever, Cancer is now a completely curable disease. Colorectal cancer, pancreatic cancer, breast cancer, skin cancer, lung cancer, leukemia, even inoperable brain tumors, and more are no match for this natural discovery. It's all thanks to this breakthrough that comes from one of the strangest places on Earth, a rare type of sour honey. Well, keep watching and I'll explain. Cancer. Just the word alone will make anyone's heart drop in fear. Maybe you have a loved one going through treatment right now, and you know exactly how devastating the disease can be. Maybe you've even worried about it yourself, wondering how a diagnosis would impact your own life, your family, friends, even pets. It's a completely rational fear, considering the fact it's estimated that there are 14 million Americans living with some form of cancer right now, and 1.6 million new cases expected to be added by the end of this year alone. And it's not even the fear of living through the disease and decline that's the worst part. It's the fear of dying the horrible death that comes with it. Chemotherapy, radiation, disfiguring surgery, and then death. More than 500,000 Americans a year dead from cancer. Imagine how angry their families would be if they could see the emails I discovered. A private email exchange sent between government researchers where they admitted that a natural cure was the best cancer treatment available. I managed to get my hands on the message itself, and I'm publishing the smoking gun for you to see yourself. Here's the direct quote from their email. Sour honey is the only effective therapeutic available on the market so far. Think of all the needless deaths that could have been prevented had the FDA issued a public statement about the truth behind this bona fide natural cancer cure. But instead, they chose to keep their email chain private and unpublished. They didn't want anyone to see the truth or make their cartel investors angry. And this admission was dated all the way back in 2013. Imagine if the 1.7 million people who've died since then would have known about this natural cure's power. But instead, they were told the same lie that the cartel spoon feeds the American public so they can pay cash for their custom Porsches. Chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery are the only way. And they sure don't want you to know about a potent natural cancer defeater that's as easy and safe as adding a spoonful of honey to a cup of hot tea. But I don't drive a pricey luxury car or make a single red cent off any cure, so I can't wait to share this exciting news with you today. In the heart of the Brazilian jungle, a tiny remote area exists where special bees create one of the rarest substances on Earth. It's a type of sour honey that has remained untouched for thousands of years.